Welcome back to another episode of Your Daily Real Estate. I'm Tristan. This is a three-parter. We're going to call this the 10 Laws of Follow-Up for the New World. Listen, I've been doing some homework, research. I've been looking back to our calls and saying, how has the world changed in the sense that how we communicate to people we want to attract? And so, first off, I'm going to say the world is staying the same as far as the core. And the core is relationships. It will always be relationships. People want to work with people they refer to, people they trust, people they have confidence with, and people they know. People they know. That's the key, because as soon as we get a referral, they don't care what they have to sign. They're like, oh, I was referred to Tristan. That's fine. Just tell me where to sign. It's always been like that. It will continue to be like that. And so with thinking of that at the core, we built out these 10 laws just over the last few weeks. We've refined them. We had different ones before. We just changed them, added ones, took away old ones. And so I've got this for you. This episode is brought to you by Why Realty. That's my new brokerage, teamed up with Candace and Dave Cullen. My wife and I decided, let's do this nationwide. We're only in California right now. If you're curious, just message me on Instagram. Here we go. 10 laws of follow-up for the new world. 5 minutes. Number one is one that I usually start everything with, and that's, how do I want to make them feel? I think about this. I'm like, it's part of everything I do. It's like, how do I want them to feel? Tristan, how do you want them to feel? Do you want them to feel confident? Do you want them to feel happy? Do you want them to feel like you're going to get the job done? Do you want them to feel friction? Do you want them to feel like you're just not adequate enough for the job? And sometimes if we don't think about it, if we don't put those thoughts first, we forget that it's all about them. It's not about us. It's about what they want and where they want to go. And so if that's where we want to start, we've got to ask some questions. What are those questions we're asking to get to the right things? And that's where we start asking, hey, where do you want to go? Why do you want to move? What's going on here? And once they give you those answers, then you start creating this process of how you want them to feel. Hey, you know what? I can get you there. And I think it's step number 9 in the next couple of days. That really outlines this really well. But for me, I want to know from the very beginning, and it's usually the same answer, right? I want people to feel amazing. Like, I want to surprise and delight people, which is another part of this. But for me, I want them to know that I can get the job done. What is a job most of the time? It's pretty easy. If it's a seller, they want to know that they can sell their home for the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the least amount of problems, right? That's what they really want. And in some cases, they want to save some money too. But when you throw that into the mix, then you may have to take some other things away. Number 2, be relentlessly human. Man, this has become more and more important. As AI comes into play, as AI then takes the place of human communication, more and more people, you just watch, more and more people will value real conversations. We'll value being on the phone with somebody that's real. We'll value the meeting one-on-one, right? It's like back in the day. So I'm a historian, a history degree. And one of the things that I remember, as soon as AI came out, I thought, man, this sure feels like the industrialization period in the United States, late 1800s. Where people are like, oh my gosh, machines are going to take over and people aren't going to be needed, and then this and that. And then what you realize over a long period of time is that things that are handmade now, handmade, are more valuable than machine made for the most part. And it's the same thing we're seeing now with AI. So when I'm telling you to be relentlessly human, I'm telling you, be genuine. Be approachable. It's the whole word that you keep on hearing, authenticity. I like to call it sincerity. But the ability to be vulnerable and connect with people and being human, that's appreciated. Lead with that, please. That will help you connect with people faster. That's number 2. Number 3, and this will be the last one for today. There are 10. Number 3, make it personal, not transactional. I want you to create all the follow-up, all of the emails, texts, and automation. I want you to make it as personal as possible. How do we do that? We put us into it. Stop copying things and not adding your personal flavor to it. People use you for your services because of who you are, because of what they see out there, either in person, on social, on newsletters, on postcards. Either it's how you show up or what you're doing. And that has to show in the communication. But the personal aspect to this is where people really connect. And I've seen it a lot on social, on TikTok, on Instagram, on these videos. People connect on this level where like, oh, I really like the way she said that. That was great. I love that she's doing that. Oh, you know what? She's part of our neighborhood. She does that. That's really good. And when you add that personal piece to it, you realize when you add this that it's always been about relationships, right? Because you can throw in as many leads as possible coming in at you, and as soon as you automate it and you don't add a personal touch, it becomes transactional. And people like this. People that are like, I just want to close 1,000 transactions this year. It doesn't matter how I get there. I just want to close them. And you know what's going to happen? Because they didn't take time to build that relationship along the way, that transaction ended there. If it would have been relational, then that one transaction could have been multiplied to who knows how many. Because when you serve someone at that level and you make it personal, they will gladly refer you business, gladly send you somebody else in their family, friends, at work, because you did such a great job. They trust you. So in follow-up, you've got to make it personal. You've got to be there when they need you. And for us, the ability to be in other places, which you'll get to the number 4, number 5, and number 6, is really important. But in how we show up, it's got to be personal. This is why I hate spamming. Like, I'm not going to spam you, right? It doesn't matter now that I opened up my own brokerage. I'm never going to call up somebody and be like, hey, you want to join Y? It's so amazing. Like, yeah, you want to, and it's got this and this. And like, no, I'm going to attract. I'm going to show up. People are attracted. Great. And I'm going to send out emails and I'm going to do all this in the same way we've run our business for years. We connect with people based on how we show up, and we show up on a personal level. I want you to do the same thing. Stop thinking of this as a transactional piece. That's number 3. We'll go through 4, 5, and 6 tomorrow, or if you're listening to this way later, it'll be just the next one, and then we'll wrap it up. Have an awesome day.